going.
Oh my God. Okay. 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 So now we need to hit record
on Le Garage Band, right?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like I'm 80 doing this? Why is this so difficult? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay. But okay. So then.
Okay. I'm going to record. I'm starting. You start.
Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. I'm recording.
So am I. So now we need to clap and then go, right?
Okay. And let me get my, So ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Did I do it right?
Yeah. Okay. We did it right. Hello. Welcome to our first episode of the Claudia and B podcast, which is called Tea with Claudia and B, as you can see. Hopefully you will have everything figured out. But
it's not that difficult, so I hope you get it. And this is our first time recording. This is the maiden voyage.
Yeah,
and it is equal parts exciting and slightly terrifying.
I know. And I mean, I don't think it will sink because we're not as cocky as the people on Titanic were, but
no,
you know,
I mean, we might take on water for sure, but
yeah, but
I personally retain water all the time, so I know that'll happen. But
yeah, I know. It's okay. It will dry. Water does dry.
Yes.
But I mean, when you're in the middle of the ocean, that's why I just like don't really do cruises. Like the first cruise was on, the only cruise I've been on, a girl fell off. So
shut up. Was it murder or did she like just fall off?
Girl, we don't know. Like yeah, seriously, she fell off and it was really sad.
That is
and
sad.
a guy was with her with like and didn't report. I mean, that's a story that we should talk about later. But
that's a whole episode awful. By itself.
I know. Okay.
Did she at least fall off in a good location though?
I mean, it was from the top floor.
But like, where were the oceans that she fell into?
It was in Mexico.
Oh, that's a bad spot. I wouldn't want to get marooned there.
I know. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Hopefully that she didn't survive the fall. That's my hope. But anyway, it was really sad. It was awful. Anyway. So we're already way off track. But
so back to business. Okay. So my name is B.
Yes, Bethany or B.
Yes. And here we have Claudia. Claudia speaks so that they can tell the difference between us.
Yes, exactly. And the reason why we're even doing this is because we met on a radio show. Yeah. And they got our voices confused, which is hilarious because I don't think we sound alike, but no, I can understand why. Because I mean, these people get a lot of voicemails. So,
well, yeah, recordings. Like I feel like my recorded voice sounds really different, and so I guess in that sense, I can understand them mixing me up.
Oh, for sure,
ridiculous.
For sure. Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know.
Because we're similar in a lot of ways too. Yes. Like so. Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. So the funny thing is this radio show that we listen to. So I'm from Washington State and you live in Florida right now.
Yes.
So we are opposite corners of this great nation.
So it is late for me right now, but I'm a night owl, which is like great.
Yeah, so she's a trooper. It's going to work out.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
And then this radio show that we've been listening to is from Indiana, which I just think right there, like the 3 locations that are involved is the weirdest thing ever. But so funny. And
it is so crazy. Yeah. So weird.
And I had been listening to this show for like a year and a half when this whole saga began.
Yes. And I had just started listening to them this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just started listening to them this year. Just, with everything going on and like, I just was, so the show is the Mock and Rob show and we love them. Yes. And it was the Mock and Daisy show, but then Daisy took a corporate job and everything and then switched.
We were so sad.
I know. Yeah. So sad. We miss her, but Rob's okay.
Hey, he's right. But yeah, so it's funny too, because I think like we both found it like the same reason, because it's it's like, it's a political show, but they also just talk about pop culture and current events and different things like that. Yeah. And I really liked them because I like to listen to a lot of different sources for news. And so I kind of just search for them.
Yeah. And I like them.
Go on.
Oh, sorry. Well,
it's fine. Did you have something to say on this podcast?
Okay, so I was just gonna say that I like them because they're really funny. And I think people take, especially with this year, this like crazy, whack, bizarre year, people take themselves way too seriously. So it was refreshing, instead of like, you know, because I feel there's a lot of political stuff out there that's so like America, or like, you know, hate America, or America's like amazing, which I mean, America is amazing, but I just felt like it's just too like, you know, we don't have to be like, you know, heroes all the time. We don't have to be victims all the time. It was refreshing to hear them say like, you know, like funny, poke fun at things. And I like that.
Yeah. So, yeah. I agree. I loved it because of that too. Like, you got the news, you got humor, you got all this stuff, and it was good. So I really like that. So we started listening to this show, which was super fun. And, they have their listeners call in a lot. So they'll ask questions to be like, if you have anything about this, like, let us know. So I had called in previously and left a really long message. And you had also called in previously and left a message, and they had played both of them. So we had both heard our own recordings on this show, and we're like, oh, they love us. They like to play our stuff.
Because we had talked about that, like B and I FaceTimed, and I was like, so I had called before, and I told her what I called about. And then of course I only call them when they like do things that like, you know, are like aren't serious or have to do with boys, you know.
The important things in life.
Yeah, of course. So that's what I called. Like, I called because they had like a debate who was hotter, John Mayer or Brad Pitt. And I was just like freaking out because I was like, this is ridiculous. It's obviously Brad Pitt. I don't know why anybody would want to even like touch John Mayer, because like he's an absolute mess.
Okay, here's the thing though. I will agree with you on that, but I can see why people get into John Mayer, because he's so weird. And I feel like he's such an artiste that women would be like, ew. And then they would like hang out with him for 5 minutes and be like, actually, he's kind of like oddly attractive. So I think that's how he gets them.
Women love that like poetry crap, you know, like,
I have to say, I really think I would fall victim to John Mayer if I was in that circle. But I'm not. So anyway, you called like about the important thing.
He looks like he, honestly, like exactly. So I don't know. I don't think I could get past the smell.
That's valid. And I don't think you should have to get past that smell. So you had called in about that. And I had called in about like a question about Mormons, because I'm Mormon.
Yes. We'll get into that later. Yeah.
So much to say about it. But they had like said something about news and the Mormons, and like, why are they getting political and all this stuff? And I was like, hold up, we're not getting political. Like, that's just like some people. So I had called in and left this long message, and they had played like a little portion of it on there. And so I was like, oh, of course, like really long message. Why wouldn't they play it all, you know? So then months later, they were having a conversation about the election and how bizarre it was and how everyone was stressed out. And I felt the need to call in and just address the election and kind of be like, it was like a little bit of a pep talk, because I was like, listen, we're all freaking out, but like, it's okay. We're going to be okay.
Yes.
And I fully thought that they would just listen to the message and move on with their show, not like play it, but they did play it. And then they played it in like double time. So they like sped me up because I talked the longest time ever.
Yes. And so when Daisy left the show, and I actually left a voicemail.
Yeah.
And it never was played. But when I explain it, you'll see why I'm explaining it. Anyway, but I called because I was just like, you know, talking to her about how I would miss her. And then I was talking to her about like some of my like mask experiences and how like it just doesn't make sense to me. So not like masks make sense to me, but some of the restrictions just like are confusing. I think everybody can agree on that sometimes.
Yeah,
you
like
know what I mean?
Restrictions, they kind of change and
exactly that change. So I was just like being funny about it and just wishing her well. So they never played that voicemail. So they were setting up your voicemail. Yes. And when they were setting it up, it sounded like they were going to play my voicemail. And so I thought, oh, they're going to play the voicemail that I left for Daisy.
Because they thought they were going to play your voicemail. They thought that I was Claudia because Claudia had called in and talked about how she was a performer and all this stuff. And then when they listened to mine, they're like, I think it's the same girl that's a performer. And
yes, from Florida. And so I go, oh, I guess they're going to play my voicemail. And then I just was like kind of surprised because they didn't say, oh, this was the voicemail she left when Daisy left. You know what I mean? Anyway, but then they played it and I was like, that's not me. And I was like, so maybe there's another performer from Florida that's calling. But I wasn't sure. Like, I didn't want to call right then because I was like, well, they didn't say my name. So I can't, like, you know. Anyway, so then after.
Meanwhile, then I'm listening to this and they're like introducing this woman who's called in before. And I was like, oh, that's me. And then they're like, yeah, she's a performer. And I was like, I am a performer, but I didn't know they knew this. And I genuinely, because they had just started following me on Instagram, and I was like, they must have stalked me. They must know who I am. I called in once and we're best friends now. So,
and then they were like, oh, she sounds kind of hot.
Yes. Yes.
And I love how we both were like, oh yeah, that's me, you know?
Oh my gosh. Which, I mean, anyone who knows me is not going to be surprised about that detail in this story. They'll be like, of course, Bethany thought that they were talking about her.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Oh my God. I love that. I love that so much. Okay.
So they play my voicemail and it's all funny. I like cracked up because they sped me up and I sounded like a chipmunk and it's all funny. Well,
it was great.
Then like a week later, Claudia calls in about something else on the show because we obviously are obsessed with the show.
So, of course, I call about important things, right? So they're talking about my man, well, you know, he's married, but I've been a Justin Bieber fan for like forever. And, you know, it was hard being a fan for him for a while because he was getting so much hate.
You really had to hang in there.
Well, so did you.
Yeah, it's true. I loved him too. Okay. But like
with all like the DUIs and like all of that, I was just like, it's,
you know,
like we're getting through it. It's just a rough patch, you guys. Like it's just a phase. So, and it was because obviously look at him now.
Upstanding citizen now.
So they were talking about Justin Bieber and how he had like a new song and it was really like great. And everything. And I just was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this is a perfect excuse to call in because I can leave a voicemail, be like, this is my first time calling the new show, you know, and then you knew there was something missing. I know. I was like, I think that they were talking about me. I think they think that was me, but I was like, I just am not sure. So I'm going to be like, yo, you know? So yeah, I left that. I was like, and I'm a Justin Bieber freak. Like when I listen to him, I talk to him because I do like, you know, whenever he's like singing, let me think of an example. Oh, like that, you know,
you had to think of an example.
Well, no, because, okay. Well, I mean, I know all of his songs like almost by heart. So, but like, there's that one song where he's like, yo, what's your information? Well, oh, you know, like, yes. So sometimes like when I'm driving, I'm listening to it and I'm like yelling my phone number and yelling my address.
You talk back to him.
Yeah. I do that I'm like, sometimes. Justin, this is my stuff. That's my information. There you go.
I already gave you my number yesterday. Call it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what, so that I was just leaving a voicemail like that. But so when they played my voicemail, they were like, I think Mock was like, oh, we have another voicemail from the performer from Florida.
Claudia. She used your name that time.
Yes.
And then Mock was like, or not Mock, Rob was like, yeah, she's obviously forgotten that she called us last week.
Well, yeah, because he goes, that spastic performer, she's so spastic that she forgot or whatever.
He's not judgy at all, is he?
Oh my gosh, no, he's the best. So so anyway, so then yeah, so then I was like, oh, okay, they thought that was me. Okay, cool. Yeah. So now we got it. So then I call.
And I'm listening the same day being like, oh, that's who they thought I was. Okay.
Yes.
You get it.
Oh my God.
So then that night, of course, we can't let it lie. We both have to call him in and be like, that wasn't me.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, this is a mystery. Hope you can figure it out. But then, like, of course, Bethany is like so nice. And she's like, I want to be friends with that girl that did call in, though.
I did, because I was like, listen, she likes Jay Beebs. She thinks Brad Pitt is hotter than John Mayer. I think that we're on the same page here.
I know. And what I loved about it is your voicemail, you were like, I love America. I love Brad Pitt, and I love Justin Bieber. I love America, and I love Brad Pitt. And so
that's my slogan if ever I run for office.
I love that would be so funny, because then what if like Justin and Brad Pitt like didn't want to vote for you, and they like didn't,
That'd
you know, you would be like, I know, it'd be sad.
I'd be like, I'm here for you. Why aren't you voting for me? You jerk. Just add that to another rejection from a male.
Oh my God. So anyway, so then we both called that day, and that was really exciting, because when they were, Mock was like, we have to get to some voicemails, and she was like, if your name is Claudia or B, stay tuned. And we both were like, oh. So then yeah, so then after that, what happened? Oh, I think I called and like left like a screaming voicemail of excitement. Oh, because Mock was like, oh, you need to email us, you know, and send pictures.
Because Rob thought that we were the same person, because our voices sound similar enough that he was like, these are the same women. And Mock was like, no, they're not. No. There's two different voicemails. And he's like, the same woman called in twice. Which is obviously the most reasonable answer. So they were like, you have to send us emails, because one, Rob doesn't believe you're different people, and two, Mock was like, you guys were separated at birth. Like we have to get you guys together.
I know.
And I obviously was okay with that, because I'm like, she be my friend already. Like,
I know, right? No, and I was like, I love new friends, and I was like, she sounds hilarious, and you know. So then we send emails. I send an email, and I like send pictures or whatever, because Rob is so like dirty. He's like, send pictures, I gotta see if you're hot.
Did you send a full body shot?
I sent like one from like the waist up, and then I did like a little send a TikTok.
Oh, good call. That was classy.
Because I know, well, because during the time I was doing Grease. And so I had like a really cute TikTok of me like changing into my different like outfits for the show. And so I was like, I'll just do that, because I'm like twirling. That way you can like see the whole body, like, and it's not like, it's cute. It's not like
pervy.
You know, yeah.
Well,
I mean, send like a whole body shot.
Yes, I dug out the nudes. Just kidding. I actually got my coworker. I was like, listen, I have a really weird thing. I need you to take my picture.
Oh my God, shut up.
So we went outside my work by this tree, this little shrub and tree. And I was like, I'm going to casually just put my hand on this tree and hang out. Like,
wait, is that what your profile picture is on Facebook right now? Is that
yes. It? Oh, wait, no. That's a different one. No? I stand by a lot of trees. No, I just took a picture because I was like, I don't have a full body shot. And I think even in my email, I like made a joke about it. And I was like, Rob, we're living in a selfie world. Where am I supposed to find a body shot? But don't worry, I got one for you. Like,
oh my God, that's hilarious.
So, we're so accommodating to the people we love.
I know. Oh my gosh. So then I said that, and like Mock made fun of me because she was like, oh, she like writes just like she talks, because she has like all these emojis, because I love emojis. And I obviously wanted to be a little bit more ridiculous than like normal, because I just, I knew that they would love that,
Why not?
So then, and then I leave like a voicemail. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I want to be her friend. Like, I love it. Whatever. And I was screaming during the whole thing. And then like at the end, I like was like, ah! And then they played like that clip like over and over and over again. That was great.
That was funny. Yeah, that was so funny. So then, because they like sent us an email once they got an email from both of us. They sent one with both of us linked to it. And they were like, here you go. Like, this has been so fun. Thanks for letting us share this, because they kept giving updates on us. And then they sent us that email and we started talking. I found you on Instagram and we started messaging back and forth and chatting. And we found out that we had like all these things in common, which was really funny. Yeah, and so we were talking about that. So then we sent another email to them, just kind of being like, okay, here's the funny things. Like, I live in Spokane, Washington. She used to live in Spokane, Washington. And like all these different little funny things that we had in common. And then I made a comment about being like, because Rob was getting annoyed. He was like, why are we giving updates on these women? Like, they're the same person and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And it was funny. And so I sent in the email, I was like, I bet like, just because Rob is kind of over this, it kind of makes us want to like make it more of a thing. And like, I bet you'd be down if we talked about him more and if we like complimented him and stuff. And so she just kept giving like these updates. And every time she'd be like, okay, it's time for another update on Claudia and B. And then Rob would be like,
oh God. Yeah.
He was such a baby about it.
I know. He was like, I don't care. I'm like, okay, whatever.
We know it's you fine. Care, Rob.
The only way that he cares is if we're talking about him. That's it.
Yeah.
And his little, oh, Rob, oh, we love you so much, Rob. Blah, blah, blah.
Rob, you're such a hottie. Okay, well, the funny thing is, he made a comment about, oh no, I think it was that email. I don't remember. There were so many details about it, but I think it was that email about my Instagram. Yeah! And he was like, yeah, her like Instagram, she has a lot of pictures of her like looking off into the distance. And I was like, I do? So of course I had to check. But she was like, oh, she has pictures like that? Like, what is that? And Rob's like, yeah, she like has all those pictures like, oh, I didn't realize the camera was there. Which I mean is a fair assessment, not completely accurate, but okay. So I like tagged him in one of my stories of me like looking off into the distance, and I was like, oh, is there a camera there? I didn't even notice it or something. And yeah, and I tagged him and that. Mock replied, and she's like, this was hilarious.
That's so funny.
I do always appreciate when I find somebody I control a little bit, because
exactly
it makes the world go around,
Oh yeah, for sure. And he loves hate mail. So
yeah. So I think secretly he loves
it. If you guys don't like him, tell him.
If you don't have anything nice to say about him, that is okay.
Then tell him, like he would love it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, and then they read some of our emails on the air, which was hilarious to read or to hear. Sorry, I meant.
That was funny.
All the emojis and stuff. And then, so then we started like talking, we did Marco Poloing, and it was so fun. Yeah.
It was really fun. It was like funny to talk to you, but then also it was like really like chill and kind of like, oh my gosh, she has like all these things that are in common with me.
I know.
Kind of funny.
So then we like just kept on like nonstop Marco Poloing back and forth. And then I was like, I was like, we have to start something, because this is like crazy that this happened. And I don't know. I was just like, I just had this like feeling like literally from God, that was like, plop, here you go. Like, and so I was like, we should start something, because like, because you had already had people messaging you, right? About like,
several of the followers of the show had found me on Instagram and messaged me, and they were like, oh my gosh, you're the B with Claudia and B, and like, oh, it's been so funny. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad other people think I'm funny. Like, this is great.
Like, that was so crazy. Yeah. And then like people saying, oh, we're dying for you to start a podcast or something. I mean, it wasn't like a ton of people, but it was,
you know what? Just one person complimenting me is enough, to be honest. The fact that we got a couple messages.
I know. Well, the fact that, exactly. So I was like, okay, well, let's do it. I was like, we might as well. It's fun. And we're both like, performers, and you know, all that. And we both love Jane Austen. So
like, we kind of have a lot of the same obsessions. And so we're like, why not start a podcast and just talk about them?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, funny. And then, so we can touch back kind of like on sort of our faith, because we're both Christian. Yeah. So that was like a big, like, yay, you know, that we had in common, you know?
Yeah, it is. I always really appreciate making friends and meeting other Christians, because there's so many different, you know, denominations and different beliefs and everything. But I do just think it's like a nice grounding experience to be like, oh, we both really believe in God's presence in our life and trying to follow him and like being led down paths that he's prepared for us. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. Yeah, it was awesome. And yeah, and then I also think it's really cool that you're Mormon, because like there's a lot about like the Mormon religion that I don't know, you know. I mean, I know the Book of Mormon, the musical. I don't even know how you like.
That's the whole religion. Just kidding. Our version is slightly different, but
oh my gosh. Yeah.
But it is a great musical.
Yeah. So that was really cool, because I was like, oh, we could totally, you know, talk about that, because we both obviously love talking. And then the Jane Austen thing was like a huge yay. Like, yes, for sure. That was like a definite, oh my gosh, hallelujah. Because I like to think that everybody knows what Jane Austen is, but unfortunately that's not the case. Yeah. So I know, but it's okay.
You know, really, like, we're just two well-rounded individuals. We love Justin Bieber and Jane Austen within the same heart. So if we can do it, anyone can do it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess we should talk about another connection, which is Spokane. We can kind of talk about, like, so you've always lived there. Yeah.
Well, for the most part, my family moved around a lot when I was younger, but when I was like 12 years old, 11 or 12, we moved to Spokane. And then this has been the longest that my family like set down roots and lived anywhere. And most of my siblings have lived here or have moved back. So it's home base. Like, we've lived a lot of different places, but Spokane is my hometown. Yeah. And I had been living in Utah, but then moved back to Spokane a couple years ago. So I have my roots here. And then in the, like, one of the first emails that we sent back and forth, you were like, oh, what part of Washington do you live in? I used to live in Spokane. And I was like, shut up. This is where I live.
You know, when I was secret. So I like totally like creeped on you on Facebook, and I was like, oh, does she like live in Spokane? But when you like told me where you lived on Instagram Messenger or whatever, and then I was like, and then when you said, I live in Spokane, just whatever, like north of whatever, I was like, and then I was like, shut up, you know, but I already knew.
You already knew. So you pretended to be surprised.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So shut up. But I'm a military brat. I'm the youngest of 5. And so my dad was in the Air Force. So we moved from Germany to Great Falls, Montana, to Spokane, Washington. And then we lived there for 3 years. And then we moved to Norman, Oklahoma. And then I stayed there. My dad retired there. So I stayed there through college because he retired there. So therefore in-state tuition. So cheaper. So then I went to college there. Then I moved to Florida, then back to Oklahoma for 3 years. We'll get into that later when that's like a whole other thing.
And then back deep on the life story.
Yes. Then back to Florida. So I'm in Florida because of the performer opportunities I have here. And so that's why I'm here. I live in like the Orlando area. So
that sounds great. Spokane's not as exciting as Orlando. I will have you all know. It is.
Well, you guys get better summers. It's pretty brutal. So
but you guys get better winters. So it all evens.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was going to say, so like when you and I plan our visits,
Yes.
I was going to say, you need to come here during the winter. I need to come there during the summer.
Oh, for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Spokane in the spring and the summer is really glorious. I like every year when we hit that time, it's like June is absolute peak season in Spokane.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. And I'm like, oh, why would I ever want to leave this place? And then December, January, February rolls around and I'm like, why the hell am I here? This is awful.
Well, I know, because in Florida, I mean, you can't really like lay down in the grass without worrying about lizards. So
that's uncomfortable.
I know. But in Spokane, I mean, you can like totally bask in the grass and I love it, you know?
That's true.
Like, and you don't have the cicada sounds. So.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't think of that.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we have Silverwood here, which is totally comparable to all of the theme parks in Orlando.
I totally forgot about Silverwood. I've been there.
I know, because it's totally forgettable.
I went with my friend, one of my best friends from elementary school, Katie. We went. It was right before I had to move away. And that was like really fun. It was really sad. It was hard moving, but it was like, you know, it was really fun. Yeah. So I know. Yeah, exactly. So, and then, we've got, this is like theme park city over here. So
I want to go to some.
You will.
Good. Okay. So on top of that, so we have our faith, we have Spokane, we have that we love to talk, Jane Austen, Justin Bieber, and all of that. But we are also both performers in different ways. And I love that because I love theater people. They're so weird. I really genuinely love weird people so much. So
I know. I mean, I'm wearing cat ear headphones. So
and we're both just sitting in our closets. Like this is normal.
So like if you're watching this on YouTube, like this is like all my clothes. Cause you know, I think it probably sounds better here. You know, we'll weventually upgrade our equipment, but
we'll eventually figure out what we're doing and
we'll eventually have like a fancy, like, you know, booth or whatever when we're all rich and famous from the show. So, you know.
So please like and share. Just kidding. I mean, but do that. But yeah, we're both performers. So I, through middle school and high school would do all the theater things I could. A family friend had a performing company that she would teach acting and voice lessons and all the different stuff. And so I would go to that and do the performances. And then when I got older into high school, I would like help teach with her. So I would do like my local high school, go to all of the acting classes there, do hers, and then help her teach the younger students. And I just loved it so much.
Of course. How can you not love it? Like so fun.
It's so good. And that's like my favorite thing from all of my friends that are not performers, that don't have that personality glitch in the system, whatever it is that makes be a performer. They like just do not get that. They're like, you want to be in front of people, you want to do this, and I'm like, I love it. Like I don't know why, but I love it. And
I
like
know,
that's so funny to me.
Like I love being the center of attention. Like, you
me
know,
too.
I love it. Of course.
And it's like, I don't know, like I know that sounds so egotistical, and it probably, I mean, I'm sure it is, but like it goes beyond that for me. Like sometimes I'm like, it's not even because I think I'm cool. I just want to be in the spotlight.
I know. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Yeah. No, so I always like, well, that's something like my grandmother, whenever she would ask me like what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I would always be like, I want to sing and dance. I want to sing and dance and I want to act. I would always say that. And then it didn't really like click to me that I wanted to like perform until like this really funny story happened was, I mean, I always knew that I wanted to sing and dance, but my mom like wasn't too sure about it. You know, she was like, oh, you know, you can like sing in a choir and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. So when I was in middle school, I did like a solo and ensemble thing where I, like, obviously I sang a solo. And anyway, I told my mom about it the night before. And then I wake up the next morning and I like overslept, and I was like, Mom, like we're supposed to go, like I'm supposed to be there. I have a solo to sing. So I'm like crying, and then like we're driving on the way to the school or whatever. And I was like, I haven't even warmed up, you know? And I'm like, how old was I? I think I was like in 7th grade. Yeah, I was in 7th grade.
Coming in so nicely like, with that diva, huh?
I know. So then
cute.
I sing in the car. I sing my song in the car. And I did notice my mom, like her face kind of being like, but I just thought she was like, you know, just kind of like stressed from being late.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, she was telling someone else's story about me singing. And she was like, I didn't know she could sing like that. So then after that, she like, I know, it was like so sweet. So then after that, she got me into like an opera camp or whatever when I was like 13. Okay. And we did Pirates of Penzance, which is like my favorite, one of my favorites.
Such a good one.
I know. And so like that was something that my sisters and I, and like even my brothers too, we would like sing that to each other. Like growing up, you know, we always like would sing to each other growing up, and I always would perform for my stuffed animals and things. So then after that, it just sort of like took off. Like in high school, I tried to do all the musicals that I could. And then in college, I majored in music theater. And then from there, I just kept going. So that's how my performer like journey started. Yeah.
Where it all began.
Yes, where it all began was oversleeping.
Wow. I mean, that's a great story, actually.
I know. Isn't that funny? Yeah. Yeah. So funny.
They say the early bird catches the worm, but not always.
I know, right?
So okay. Great. So you have 5 siblings, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So, and you're baby. So do you have all brothers or any sisters?
No, it's 2 brothers and then 2 sisters and then me. So when I was born, it was like they were having a race between like who would be like if
you were the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Fun.
And then you have 5 brothers, right?
I do. There's 7 kids in my family.
Okay.
So I have 4 older brothers.
We have in common is like we have a lot. Yeah, big families.
Yeah. Those Christians, they like big families, don't they?
I know.
They cannot lie about it. Also, you can't lie anyway because you're Christian.
I know.
Yeah, so my family, 7 of us. So I have 4 older brothers. And then I was the baby. So I'm like in a funny position in my family because I'm the youngest out of the first group of kids. And my parents were going to stop having kids after me. I was going to be the last one. And it was like, oh, it's a girl after the 4 boys. Like, this is perfect stopping point. And then my sister is 5 years younger than me. So she was a little surprise baby. And that kind of like started that classic, the older kids, the younger kids that you have in family.
Oh, yeah.
So she was 5 years younger than me. So I was like the little mama, but also like the little sister too. And it was like kind of funny. And then we actually ended up surprise adopting my youngest brother.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was kind of just like, it just happened. There wasn't really a plan to like try and adopt, but we ended up adopting him, and he is 5 years younger than my sister. So we have like a group of 5 of us that all kind of grew up similar ages. And then we have these 2 little stragglers at the end. So I have 5 brothers and 1 sister, and we're all just nuts, and it's fun.
Yeah. I know. We're a little nuts too. So
I mean, it can't help it really when you have so many different personalities in one household. It's like you're all gonna lose it at some point.
Yes, but I will say, I know I've had some friends be like, I just love how supportive your family is. And like, you know, and I just really like contribute that to, you know, our strong backbone and our faith, you know, like it's totally that. Like that's what has kept us grounded and like kept us together. So nice. Yeah. I mean, we've been through a lot of crazy things, especially over this past 5 years, but you know, we got through it. We're getting through it.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the best.
I know. Exactly. Okay. So I don't even know, like, I didn't even look at the time when we started.
Me neither. I was just thinking that this could have been going on for hours. I don't know. I think we're getting pretty close to the time we wanted to stay within. But.
Yeah, I think so too. So, because I can't even tell like how long we've been. Yeah, I can't even tell. But I think that this was like a good introduction. Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, the most random meeting ever, but we want to just do this podcast for you guys and just basically continue on with the Claudia and B saga, that was like two different people that were similar enough to cause a little bit of mayhem.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And then, so what we'll do is we just want to talk about different things that interest us. And, also another thing we have in common is we're both in our 30s. I'm 30, she's 31. Yeah. So yeah, 30, flirty and thriving.
I mean, if thriving isn't the word to describe me, I don't know what it is.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay. So yeah, we just thought we would be like a really good team, and we think we're funny. We both sound hot. Yeah. So like, why not?
We sound hot. We look hot. Orlando is hot. So it's all that we need.
You know what's hilarious? Okay, so it's like, actually it was 40 in the 46 today or whatever.
Oh, and were you so cold?
Yeah, well, it was nice. Like, I mean, cold here is like, oh yeah, I get to put on a sweater. I don't have to like bundle up, but like, girl, other Floridians have to like bundle up. They're like all like in their big marshmallow coats, and they're like, it's so cold. They're such babies. So oh my gosh, just funny.
The same thing. My family used to live in Arizona, and it's the same thing there. Like,
I understand.
They just can't handle it.
So. I know. Okay, cool. So I say, we're going to post this once a week. We're going to post it every Friday, I think, because that's my favorite day. So
it's a good day. It's a good day. If you are remotely not annoyed by us, follow us. We have some social media accounts that we set up. We have Instagram and Facebook that are both Tea with Claudia and B, because we are going to be spilling any tea we got, but we also just love the idea of sitting down with a cup of tea and just gossiping and talking about crap.
Exactly. And talking about it. And, so, and also, anything that you guys, as we get further along, want to hear us talk about, we will totally talk about it. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
send us any suggestions. We love it all.
We do. Okay, cool. So I guess that this concludes our first episode. So crazy.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. This was really fun for us. So hope it was fun for you.
I know. And we're kind of both scared because we have to edit this.
Oh my gosh. Pray for us.
So
retroactively send your prayers.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, but luckily I have like friends that do podcasts from, far away. So I was able to get some tips and tricks. We just hope that they all like work out.
We'll get better too. Hang in there. We'll get better.
So we apologize for any audio wacko-ness. If there is any, we don't know yet.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know anything yet. We're going to.
Oh my gosh. Okay, perfect. Well, we can go ahead and we'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Okay. I stopped the recording on GarageBand, and then can you stop the recording on Zoom? How do you stop it on Zoom?
Let me stop it right now.
Okay. Bye.